loading snacks.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Finisher Podcast, powered by Loading Snacks, where wrestling meets pop culture and we don't just talk about it, we finish it. What's going on? It's your boy Jokes. I got the homie Marcus, and we're here to break down some of the biggest matches, moments, and everything shaping the culture, all the way from the opening bell to the teardown. Speaking of the teardown, if you guys aren't following the Finisher Podcast on Instagram, make sure you do that in order to catch the 10-minute teardown that goes down every Monday and Friday after Raw and SmackDown. Our good friend Kay, of course, just chopping it up after the show goes off, because we know how things are. When the show ends, you want to be able to talk about it. We just give you that little place to come and speak on it. But of course, for even more pop culture content, make sure you head over to loadingsnacks.com, where we're of course wrestling to movies, anime, gaming, and all of that comes together under one roof. And of course, if you like to support us, you can jump over to patreon.com. You can find Loading Snacks right on there and be a part of what it is that we're building in the community. But now, let us get into wrestling talk.
Ding
Marcus,
ding.
how are we feeling, man?
Feeling good, man. How about yourself?
I'm good. Tired is just a part of life now, so I just incorporate it. However, but you know what? We still got work that's got to get done between the
Yep.
finisher, us going to conventions. For those of you that have been tuning into the other Loading Snack stuff, we just finished StellarCon this past week, almost a couple weeks now. So a lot of the content from that is starting to trickle out. So make sure you stay tuned in to see some of that coming. But for now, we're here to talk about things wrestling. And, last few weeks have been WWE, and this week is going to continue on WWE because we've had some things happen that, honestly, I wasn't expecting to go down as of right now, but they most certainly have. So you ready to go ahead and get into that? And then afterwards, I know you got something on the docket that we'll jump into. But I'm just going to, for those that are watching, I'll cue this up for those that are listening. I'm going to throw this up right now. Sami Zayn is your new WWE Champion. Now, I honestly was not seeing this coming right now. But obviously, with Night of Champions being in Saudi Arabia, I guess if you were going to pull the trigger to do this, that was a prime
Yep.
place and opportunity to be able to go and pull that trigger. And I know I feel like there's a mixed bag of reactions to Sami being champion. I'm going to be one of those that say that I can understand both sides. Like, let's be real. First of all, does Sami deserve to be a WWE champion? I think so. I
Yep.
think dude has definitely built and clawed his way up from the NXT days all the way up till now. I feel like there was a few opportunities they probably could have pulled the trigger earlier, and I think it would have made, I don't want to say more sense, but I feel like with his, I don't even necessarily want to say redemption, but he's just always been the underdog. He's always
Mm-hmm.
been the underdog, and things have always gone against him. And not only to win this, but to win this in a triple threat match against Gunther and, of course, at then champion Cody Rhodes, I think is absolutely is a solid achievement. What are your reactions to Sami Zayn as our new WWE champion?
Um, I felt like since it was in Saudi Arabia, it was a smart choice, seeing as he went from a talent that did not want to be in Saudi Arabia to now being in Saudi Arabia
Mm-hmm.
and now becoming champion in Saudi Arabia. So, it's a smart move. He's very over there. No pun intended. Or maybe pun intended, but uh it's a like I'm not upset with the choice. It will just be sad if like the very next week or actually yeah, if the very next week, this upcoming week, he loses it back to Cody. Like it will be unfortunate. And I feel like the build up to that triple threat, like
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. I totally forgot Sami Zayn was
I
like it
kind of
was.
did too because it almost felt like he kind of got thrown into the middle of that. Like the build up to that, honestly, is a little weirded to me. Like I don't know, it just didn't feel like Sammy was just put in there. Other than the fact that they were going to Saudi Arabia, this was probably a good time to put him in there.
Yeah, and now like he's saying he's like it's ironic since we were talking about the top face, like the best face. He's like the last real face in the I was just like, bro, like you were a heel just like 2 weeks ago, bro. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, you can't say you're the last great face or the last face the champion when you were just a heel like 2 to 3 weeks ago.
But listen, that's how you. Hey, listen, that's how you play the character, and I think that may be working a little well for him right now. Like I know over here the reception's a little bit mixed in comparison to obviously when he was over in Saudi Arabia and winning it. So
And just don't put him in front of Trick Williams and he's a face.
um I'm eager I'm eager to see how we can let this story build up a little bit because right now, and like just like you said, it would suck if Cody ends up beating him and taking the belt back just that quick. But we've had a discussion on I've been feeling like they've been just trying to move the needle very quickly with Cody and how many title reigns he's going to have. I'm not expecting him to catch up to no John Cena, Ric Flair, Triple H, Randy Orton. Like it's just so many more times that he's gonna have to win that. I don't see that happening. But it seems like we're stacking those up for him a little bit more. And obviously I can see a couple of rematches happening down the road depending on how things play out. But there's also and this it, Smalley goes into this and where I thought plans were gonna go. And I don't want to pivot too much because we are going to talk about this as well too. But obviously, Oba winning the King of the Ring, which happened, is there as well too. Which, let's be real,
It made the most sense.
we knew that he was going to win that. There was no two ways around that. But to have Oba then show up on Raw and pretty much just drop the King of the Ring win in order to face Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. Like I had already said, you know what? We were getting the trilogy, and it was gonna end at SummerSlam. Like I was already sold that that was gonna be a thing, and I was trying to figure out how they could potentially work the championship into the middle of it because it's kind of just how Brock is. And when Oba won, it was like, oh, there it is right there. And now Oba at that point was going to challenge obviously Cody at the time, but now it would have technically been Sami Zayn. I was like, oh, I can absolutely see him going and dominating Sami Zayn and taking the championship. Not to say that we still have some weeks before we get to SummerSlam. I don't know if Oba can, recant his giving up of the King of the Ring title to be able to still challenge in between for the championship. I highly doubt they're going to let him do that. But
Well, I think that's the whole reason why he got rid of the crown is because one, for storyline purposes, that would diminish Sami Zayn.
it
You
would.
like you just gave him the belt just to feed him to Oba Femi. That's kind of messed up. It's like the equivalent of a reverse Brock Lesnar.
But on the flip side of that, I was for sure that Oba was probably going to go for Roman after that comment that he made to Jay, and saying that yo, you're not the family member I'm worried about. And it was like I could see him using the King of the Ring against Roman, probably not necessarily beating Roman, but I think that would have been the fair way to do it. And then after they had their match, but I guess because there's nothing separating really from now until SummerSlam, you obviously you don't want to have that match on like a Raw or SmackDown. They could do it on what is
Yeah,
Sunday
but with
night
the
main
King of
event.
the Ring, though, right? You don't have to do it at the next pay per view. Like
Well,
you
that's the
have,
thing. It's for SummerSlam. the King of the Ring is supposed to be for SummerSlam. That was the stipulation. You got the
We're
championship shot
already
at
getting Roman.
SummerSlam.
Like that's see. This is what creative. This is why, like, it doesn't make sense. Like the current landscape of. I'm not saying that all of it doesn't make sense. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes that we don't know about, or
Mm-hmm.
that they are going to release, quote unquote, on the behind the scenes, the real. Is it
Mm-hmm.
real? WWE real or whatever. About like what's transpiring, but like if we know we're getting Seth Roman and we know Cody just dropped the belt to Sami Zayn, and you know we're going for a feud, the trilogy for Brock and Oba, that leaves Sammy in a void.
For now, I have a feeling probably CM Punk is going to end up being the one to fill that void. Like, there's been rumors and stuff, and obviously you take everything with a
Hey, you
grain of
know what?
salt.
This will be a perfect time to pull the trigger on Finn Balor.
It could be. You know what? This would be a great time to be able to put him in the middle of it. I believe Finn taking it off of Sammy is a much more believable piece because of where he is currently right now. That could have easily been a way to put him in there. But obviously right now, with Finn dealing with Tama, since Tama and Tonga have stepped away, or Tala have stepped away from the MFTs, and the elders have told them that they need to, separate themselves from like all the past stuff. Sorry, Marcus. I know we were hoping for this eventually, but clearly the Bullet Club connection that the two have, what Tama and what Finn had, is being thrown away. Clearly, we're losing that. Like, I was hoping that maybe we would experiment very smallly and briefly with that, but clearly we're just going to be getting rid of all those connections. So Tama may be the one that's getting ready to get that next push instead of Finn. Now that match, Finn and Tama should be pretty solid. I think would be a pretty solid match. Where we build and where we put it at is really where the question is. Now, I don't know if Tama is going to build his own MFT slash Bloodline 4.0 team or whatever. Quick sidebar, not to mention, apparently Zilla has apparently been pulled from indie events,
Mhm.
which means that could
He's
actually
he's
finally be
supposed
on the
to
horizon,
he's been behind the scenes in WWE at a couple events.
and he could be put into that mix in any sort of way. Like, listen, for those of y'all that are tired of the bloodline, y'all might as well get past that, because the bloodline is going to be here for at least like the next 5 years. Not to mention, all of them have a slew of children that we will see down the road at some point. This
Yep.
bloodline story is not ending no time soon. And what's funny is, and I'm hoping we get to see this, at some point we got to have Sammy and Roman come face to face at some point, because that is going to be a funny interaction. Now, I don't know on what page currently Roman and Sammy would be on, but if he's still
Well,
considered
Sammy
to be,
said that we're still family.
if he's still the honorary Uce, technically now that means the bloodline now has both main championships under their belts. Which could be a very funny interaction to have. And
I
listen,
mean,
right
I just
now,
want to know what KO's. I just need KO to look at Sammy.
hey, I don't know if you saw, Natalia surprised Sammy and bought Kevin Owens. I don't know if it was to one of their live events or shows, and surprised them with Kevin showing up to congratulate him on winning the championship. There, like, listen, there are some nuggets that are built into Sammy winning that are just years in the making. And I would
Mm-hmm.
love to see, if Kevin can get healthy enough to, come back and return. I would like to see Sammy versus Kevin for the WWE Championship. I just feel like that would just be a cool full circle moment for us to go and visit onto. I know a lot of people probably won't be happy with that. But I think that in Sammy, I don't even want to know if you want to call it finishing his story. I feel
No,
like
I'll say
him going
starting his story.
or starting his story, whichever one. I feel like him and Kevin going head to head for the championship. I feel like it puts a chapter, like it's a chapter that gets completed in the book. So right now, like there's so many avenues that Sammy has as being WWE champion that they could explore. But my fear is I feel like they're gonna make Sammy the transitional champion. And whether it is, like you said, Cody ends up beating him. Like I hope not, because I gotta give props. The fact that Sammy won that match clean, like off the roll up, that roll up, I was not
Was
expecting
sloppy.
to
That
was
was a
not
sloppy
expecting to
roll up.
get a 3 count. But I'm eager to see how they can build this story around Sammy, because it's not like he's got a faction behind him or anything like that, which you don't need, but as if they can keep him relevant enough to make it make sense. Which is why a lot of people think this is going to be the transitional period for Sammy. If it's not next week with Cody, the big talk was that, CM Punk apparently is on his way back in. And Punk, wanted to go after Cody, and Cody had extended that offer that whenever you were ready, you can come challenge for this championship. And obviously, I feel like Punk is going to show up, see Sammy as champion. He ain't going to take it serious. And I think that's what would cause CM Punk to lose that match, is just because he's not going to take it as serious as what he should. But on the flip side, he could easily beat Sammy and say, yo, Cody, let's do the flip reverse. Whenever you want this shot back at this championship, you holla at me now. Because that means CM Punk has got to switch and go over to the blue brand in order for that to work. So there's a lot of moving pieces in this right now. I mean, yes, we're still a month out from SummerSlam, so we can get a lot of these things in line properly the way that they
Mm-hmm.
should. Um, speaking on Brock and Oba, Oba giving up the King of the Ring shot to take on Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. We've been talking about this. We knew the trilogy after that first, like, it was like it's gonna happen. We get the trilogy, and ironically and funny enough, I said to you, I was like, listen, that third match has to be something. It's got to be something. And I said, as a joking thing, I said to you, it should be like a Hell in a Cell match, because when you have the likes of these two, and you want to end this and make it a definitive end, you got to tailor it to something like a Hell in a Cell match. And I love the fact that we have taken Hell in a Cell and we are treating it as the match that it is, and it's not just an annual pay-per-view or premium live event anymore. This match should only show up when the situation meets
Yep.
the needs.
When it counts.
And Oba versus Brock, and putting these two behemoths in a Hell in a Cell cage, I think is probably the proper way to do it. Because destruction. And I listen, I firmly believe Oba will win this match. This Brock is going. This is where we've been saying that he was going to retire. Obviously, SummerSlam is in Minneapolis. It makes sense. If Brock is truly going to hang the boots up, it should be done here. The Mania thing caught us all left field, and I
And
don't
the
know. Like we
contract,
said,
yeah, we're just like, yo, you can't
behind the scene,
retire
that
here at
contract.
WrestleMania.
Hey, yo, Brock, you needs to make it to SummerSlam, my dude. You can't hang these boots up here at WrestleMania. Don't get me wrong. Like, yeah, we know this is the grandest stage of them all, and it's the best place. SummerSlam, my dude. That's why we put it in your hometown. So you got to make it there to be able to retire. So I am. Hey, listen. I'm interested to see if we can keep the ball rolling and this doesn't end up hitting a stale brick wall. What we got. Um, Obviously, Oba comes out as a winner. Dude is immediately champion. He's immediately challenging somebody. It's probably going to be Roman. I feel like Roman is going to be the one that makes sense. I feel confident Roman is going to beat Seth.
Assuming Roman wins.
I feel like Roman should beat Seth. But obviously, that could go the flip way, and then we get of returning CM Punk maybe, and then CM Punk versus Seth, because there's obviously there's history there that I
I
feel
mean, he
like there's a
did cost
story
him the
that
win.
yeah that we have to that we got to finish there. So right now, like it's just there's so many moving parts right now, and I like that we have those choices in the way that we can play this out. I just feel like the worst thing is going to be is if Sammy ends up losing this belt right back to Cody. I don't give give Sammy a fair shake. Let's see what he can do as WWE champion. It makes it. He's finally yeah, he's a Grand Slam champion now because
Yeah,
he's had everything.
he's
So
Grand Slam.
that's all he needed under the belt now. So
Yeah, just a major one of the major titles to be Grand Slam.
so I'm eager to see how this plays out. SummerSlam obviously there's gonna be some serious matches, and I think having this as 2 nights is probably gonna be the fair thing to do. Um, I gotta figure that out because I definitely want to be able to see both nights of this and not have to worry about rushing back home and missing something. I feel like we should have a good time with this. Maybe that'll be a theater watch. I gotta look and see which theaters are showing it because typically I feel like we're gonna have to go across the bridge in the VA to be able to see it because
Yeah,
typically none of our theaters show it. I think SummerSlam, at least one of the nights, we have to figure out. One of the nights I think is going to be worth watching to see in theaters. I want to see that experience. Like we went and saw AEW at iPick, which was probably the worst decision. Um, Quality of theater, like they've gone really downhill. But if they put this in just a regular AMC theater, I think we should be okay.
yeah, we're probably all
Um,
right.
but yeah, where would you like to see Sammy go with this? Do you want to see him last a little while as champion, or
I
or is
mean, I
it
would
for you? Is it
want
not even a real
like
big thing?
I would want him to have a good run, like a
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say like a 6 month run, but maybe like a 3 month run.
Mm-hmm.
But reality is it may only be like a 1 month and a half type run,
Mm-hmm.
if that. Um, but I'll be pleasantly surprised if it's not. Like
If it's
if
short,
somehow he makes it through SummerSlam and then on to the next PLE. Like I would be surprised.
let's say let's give Sammy a fair shake. Let's say he makes it through SummerSlam as champion. Who would you want to see? What list? Let's just say 3 to 5 people. And I think we've already listed probably 2 of them. Who would you want to see Sammy take on to defend the WWE Championship against?
Definitely KO.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I want him to go against Jay,
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy,
Mm-hmm.
CM Punk,
Mm-hmm.
Randy Orton.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair 5. And you know what? I almost want to say in that order, but obviously with Kevin being injured still, like I feel like we're way off. But if Randy's going to take the belt back, I feel like this would be the way to do it. If he gets medically cleared, I believe he's still dealing with the injury or whatever it is. I think I'm right there with you. I would love to see Kevin and Sammy be able to do it. Definitely Randy Orton. I think Cody deserves a one-on-one shot. I think for Sammy to prove himself the most, I feel like he should have that one-on-one with Gunther again. Obviously, he beat him for the Intercontinental Championship, but I think if he was able to defeat him in defending the champion, that's just another stand on top for Sammy. I think that would be a solid plus in Sammy's believable bucket for people. And yeah, CM Punk, I can see. Oba would be cool, but I feel like Oba's should be going after Roman. I think in the way things are, I feel like Oba should be going after Roman. So yeah, I'll say CM Punk for right now. But I feel like Sammy has a
Solid.
few history things that he needs to go through. Um, if the Miz gets back to normal with dealing with the whole Danhausen thing that's going on right now, I feel like Sammy and the Miz have some history that could be revisited, but I don't think we're gonna get the Miz back for a good while because of Danhausen currently. We got Zack Ryder in the Miz right now. It's weird.
Like I
I
would
love
not be
Danhausen.
upset if Zack Ryder like gets a shot. I would not be upset. I wouldn't be upset if Zack Ryder became a WWE champion. I wouldn't mind it.
So here's the
I
question:
would not mind it whatsoever.
since he's like being Zack Ryder right now, if Zack Ryder challenged and became champion, but ended up becoming Matt Cardona again, does that mean he has to forfeit the championship?
Nah, I just changed the name title. The nameplate. You just changed the nameplate.
Oh, get a little woo woo woo.
And
Like,
he
no.
did come out as Matt Cardona, like in the very beginning, and then they were just like, "Yeah, we need you to put back on the Zack Ryder logo."
Hey, listen, but it was Hey, listen, they did it funny though. Hey, listen, you make it do through Danhausen. I was like, that was funny. Have him short things out and make my man lose his mind and woo 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 and throw him back in. So I was like, okay, that's a clean way to get Zack Ryder back for a little bit of time. But
Broski of the week.
but yeah, so let us know your thoughts right now. Sammy is WWE champion. Oba foregoing competing for a championship at SummerSlam to take on Brock Lesnar. Like, how are you feeling about these two things? Let us know in the comments. Message us. Let us know because we got a lot of stuff that's going to be happening in the next few weeks, and we gotta see if the piece of this story are going to be smooth or if it's going to get a little bumpy before we get to SummerSlam. So we shall find out. But with that, it's time to shift storylines. It's throwing the ball your way this time, Marcus.
Okay.
Uh, what you got on the docket?
Um, what wrestling game has the best music,
Ooh.
and why is it SmackDown versus Raw?
Oh man. Now when you say best music, because I feel like we could throw this in different categories. Like if we're talking like actual music, like the artists and stuff like that, like I think SmackDown versus Raw is probably one of those that takes it. Now don't get me wrong, current some of the current 2K games actually have some current hit bangers that are on there because they're just current releases and
But
everything.
it's not like
It's not the same. I get it.
it's
Well, yeah,
not the same.
it's not the same. But I don't know. But when you think of like some of the N64 games, now granted, not actual like music, but some of them just have like the bop. Like when you're in the menus and you're like just scrolling around and you just have the bop on there for it. Um, man, you got me on that one. Um,
Honorable mention for those in the comments. Here comes the pain.
SmackDown. Listen, all of those games were solid. I feel like they were in front of their times when they came out. Um, like it was just something different when they made the transition from obviously N64 into
PlayStation.
PlayStation 3. Honestly, you could probably loosely say PS2, but really, yeah, PS3, uh, Xbox 360 days on there. Now, I will tell you this. I'm gonna throw this one. I'm gonna throw this as a wrench in your plans. What if I said Raw on the OG Xbox? And the only reason why I say that was because the OG Xbox allowed you to use your own music in the game that you could actually use for your characters. That was dangerous in a good way. And that was some of the power that the OG Xbox did that was just unheard of with the gaming console. Just be able to listen to your own music while you're in games or add that music into certain games. So I throw that wrench in there too because then you could have damn near any music you wanted in.
That's not from the game. That's from the console. And technically, you could do the same thing on a PS2. you can put in a HUD with your own music. You can mod the PS2.
Uh, but see, you had to mod it. Xbox, you didn't have to do that. That was just built into it. It was just built into it, and like, because SmackDown versus Raw, I guess that would have been 2005. I believe was the first intro into that. I think would have been the first game that they would have actually been able to like license like actual music into. Like on, because if I remember, like on some of the PS1 games, I don't even think some of
Oh
the
four,
wrestlers had. You said which one?
oh four,
Was it
2004.
04? That was the first one, but I don't think 04 you could do. I don't think they had the fully licensed music on there. Or maybe it was just the SmackDown. I could be wrong. I know there was a little bit of a difference because I know when they did the transition over, everything didn't do it. But yeah, definitely in those first early days, there was a major overall and having that music playing in there when you're in like the loading screens in the main menus. Um, I couldn't. It's hard for me to give you a definitive. It's been
Yeah,
so
because
long,
Here Comes the Pain was in 03.
but that was just SmackDown. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't SmackDown versus Raw. Here Comes the Pain was just a SmackDown title because it was Here Comes the Pain. Um,
SmackDown versus
just
Raw.
bring it. Just bring
No,
it.
just bring it had to be before Here Comes the Pain.
No, no, 100% was because it was SmackDown 1, SmackDown 2, SmackDown Just Bring It, and then SmackDown Here Comes the Pain. I feel like it was those four. I may be missing one in between. I don't think there was a SmackDown 3 because 1 and 2 of SmackDown was on PlayStation 1. And then when they shifted, I believe the cover that had The Rock, Just Bring It, I believe that was the first one
Yeah, that
that
was on
moved
PS1.
to
Mm-hmm.
PS2. No, that was PS2. Just Bring It was PS2. I know when they made that transition, just from the case, that had to be PS2. Double check, because I'm pretty sure, yeah, it was SmackDown. It was just SmackDown. Then it was SmackDown 2. And then I don't think they named it SmackDown 3. It was just called Just Bring It. And I'm pretty sure that was PS2. More than certain. You do.
It is a sequel. You're thinking of Shut Your Mouth.
No, Just Bring It. Oh, I'm going to pull this up. No, Just Bring It was PS2. Now,
So it may go Just Bring It, Shut Your Mouth, Here Comes the Pain.
let me see. You got me pulling this up now. Uh, Just Bring It. Just Bring It was November
19th,
November
2001.
2001. And then
Yeah, it was
Smack
succeeded by Shut Your Mouth in October
It was
02.
2002. Okay. So Just Bring It, Shut Your Mouth, because it was all the rock stuff, because that was his show. And then it was here. It should have been Here Comes the Pain. But those were all PS2. There was only two. They
Which
only
is
did two.
ironically in Japan is called Exciting Pro Wrestling 3.
Oh yeah, it didn't
Just
get
Bring It.
the it didn't get the WWE moniker, if I remember right. It was weird. Like,
Overseas, at least in Japan, it didn't get the WWE moniker.
I feel like because
I
of
think all of them didn't get the WWE moniker in Japan.
yeah, I think because obviously with licensing and the way things work when you go over at least specifically Japan, a lot of that stuff doesn't you can't take and transition over there with, especially the music. Like a lot of superstars when they go over there sometimes can't use their US music because of certain agreements. And there's a lot of reasons why they don't have a lot of shows in Japan because of that type of stuff. But I would definitely say the PS2 era of games, music slap. All those games that were on the PS2, the music slapped on there. So that's including the SmackDown versus Raw, um, before we made the inevitable transition into 2K. When I think Uke stayed around for like a year of that, I feel like, and then everything started going downhill. But things have gotten a little bit better. I haven't played the latest 2K. I don't know. Like I just feel like too much
I'm
other
telling
stuff
you
came
right
out.
now, like the first 3, SmackDown versus Raw, have banger artists. You got Power Man 5000.
Mm-hmm.
You have, hey, look, a lot of y'all may not remember these artists. It's okay. It's before your time. You had Anthrax, Chuck D, and Flavor Flav with Bring the Noise. Like, bro, Flavor Flav, come on, son. You had Showcore, you had Styles of the Beyond, you had Breaking Benjamin, you had Zebrahead, Core, Pre-Thing. In the 2006, you had Megadeth, you had Dark New Day, Fire Ministry, Static X, Blood Sample. The list goes on. And then the goated 2007. I may recant and say '07 is probably the best of the best because you got 3 Days Grace, No Point,
Listen,
Godsmack, Seven Dust, Hell Yeah, Project 86, 8 Ball, Puddle of the Mud, Bullets and Octane, Blackstone Cherry versus the World, Ghostface. Like, come on, son. Like,
it was
the
some
current
solid.
games don't have
It was some solid artists
that
on there.
sauce. And by '07, like, you can put music, your own music in. So the first two was before PS3.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like
Some
granted
weird shit.
now it's like, okay, you have like your Lil Wayne and everything, and your ASAP and putting your own tracks in like now, because that's just the era that we're in. But
Mm-hmm.
where it started from to where we got here, because those, in my opinion, those are the better games. Like, I could go back and play all the SmackDowns, all the SmackDown versus
Mm-hmm.
Raws, and have a good grand old time versus playing in 2K.
I listen. I will give you that because 2K has become obviously because it just like but it's more of a simulation, so it's being more realistic with stuff. I kind of had more fun with the more arcadey style stuff, and I'll give props. 2K has introduced some of the arcadiness into the game with the last one. Fighting on top of like the giant SmackDown fist and being able to throw people off of it. Like they've added some more of that arcadiness back
Yeah, the
into the
old school,
game.
because you used to be able to do all that crazy stuff in the older games. And it was
Yeah.
just like, yo, what are we doing? We need to go back to like the core elements. Like, instead of just coming out every year with a game, like, you can take some
Dude,
time in
it's the
between
same.
titles.
Listen, we about to go on. See, this is where wrestling meets pop culture. We go off on a tangent because it's the same thing that 2K does with NBA
All their
games. Like
games,
it's
all their
kind
sports
of
games.
it's
They're
kind
the
of the same.
MLB. Well, no, they don't have MLB because MLB was
No,
Showtime. It
MLB
was
the
with the
show is
show.
that's
That,
Sony.
that's this own thing. But it like NBA 2K, NFL 2K,
There is
like,
no NFL 2K. Listen. If 2K hadn't have sold the rights way back when to Madden, like I don't remember what year Madden was. It was probably like 2004, 2005. It was Madden featuring like NFL 2K or whatever it was. Listen, when 2K
I
made
mean,
that
I put them
first
all in the same hat. Madden, 2K, they're all the fucking same.
dog, when 2K made that first football game, or was it ESPN? I think it was ESPN. Whoever made that football game to rival Madden had something under their belt, and I know EA got scared and was like, "Yo, we gotta do something before this gets underway." So they ended up buying that license, and so Madden and EA would have the exclusive rights to it. But when you don't have anybody that is like a competitor to those type of games, you don't have to change anything. It's the reason why Madden year after year is for the most part is the same. But you know what? The same people that only play, and this bleeds over into the normal loading snacks talk. The same people will buy the same pretty much two games every single year, and that is Madden and
And
Call of Duty.
2K.
Nah, you can throw 2K in there. Madden, NBA 2K, and Call of Duty. It's the only three games a lot of people play.
U.S. market, in the
And
urban,
right
I should
now,
say the urban U.S. market.
like, let's be real, WWE is not going to have multiple licenses for people to make like the direct wrestling type games. Obviously, we have like a bunch of WWE mobile games, like Supercard. Like I really like Supercard. I haven't played it in a while now. It's it's just fun and get into it, but when it gets to a certain point where like I'm having to start shelling out more and more money to really get the ball rolling on sometimes days, that's where I'm kind of like, I kind of gotta hop out for a little bit because that's some of my issues. But that's what mobile games do. There, a lot of them are on that gotcha style system that you just
Mm-hmm.
gotta put in more money to be able to get. I will say, you are able to play that game without putting a lot of money and it still be very enjoyable. So I will say that before everyone jumps in. So, but WWE is not going to have a multiple license thing where you'll have like two mainline wrestling games unless we went to a format almost like Raw and SmackDown each had their own separate game, but obviously that then alienates the rosters to each
Yeah,
specific
and
game.
then you no longer have access to NXT stuff.
And then, well, I feel like NXT would be the caveat. I feel like NXT would be the one that kind of goes between both games because you would be able to move people off the NXT roster onto the main roster. So I think
Hey,
that makes
WWE, don't
sense.
don't don't go to a format of making like three separate games. Like, don't do it. Not
No,
in this climate. Not in
they
this
won't
climate.
they won't do that. If perfect the main one, which I'm happy 2K has gotten to a point now where things have improved a lot better. But I would like to see WWE eventually make on console, not like a mobile type thing, like on console a more arcadey style thing like AEW Fight Forever is okay. Like I had fun playing it, but it got to a point where it was just like I kind of lost interest in it. But it's like I want to be able to use a lot of those wrestlers that are in AEW. So I'm hoping whenever Fight Forever 2 or whatever, maybe if that's going to be a thing happens. Like obviously with Ukes
Well,
at
gotta
the
remember
helm,
it was their first game, so
it is the first game. You know what? I was
it's the
fine.
first game
It it's
during the
interesting.
time where the company was
Yeah.
just getting off the ground. So, like, I feel like now time has passed. A lot has happened in that company. Now you can put those type of storylines in your game because now you actually have content to pull from
I mean, they
for
had
your
a lot to
game.
work with, and that's why they did a lot of the party stuff. Like I like the party stuff that they added in the game. I think that gave it that old school kind of feel to it. But yeah, I know. But I'll give it to you. Music wise, I do think that PS2 era of games, just ever so slightly bridging over into like PS3 days, had some of the best music on there. Period. In between, listen, when we had true loading screens, don't get me wrong, stuff still loads nowadays. But back then, when it took like a solid minute and a half, 2 minutes for you to get from one screen to your next thing, having that music in between really made the difference. Like obviously, music on the menus and stuff that's the same, but it was just something about the way that those games hit with the music on it. So I'll give you those. I couldn't give you a specific one just because it's been so long. So I know it's kind of a cop out answer, but yeah, the that PS2 beginning the PS3 era, I think was the golden era where they had the music in the tracks on there for it. So, and just like you said, those are something that you could probably pop back in and play and have a good time with it.
Bro,
Funny
the fact
enough,
that you can make Goku and like in the very I think it was like Just Bring It or maybe it was
mm,
Here Comes the Pain. But
mm,
I just remember like everyone made Goku. Like they made all the anime characters, they made all of, like modern
mm-hmm,
sports athletes like in the
type of thing.
game. It was just straight mindless fun.
And food for thought, something that I found out that I had no idea about, and I don't remember which title it was, but one of the games they made Linda McMahon playable in the game, and apparently, once upon a time, you could use Linda McMahon to go through to win like the WWE Championship. And there was always like when you won the championship, there was always like some cutscene or something after the championship happened. Apparently, because I guess they thought that nobody would ever want to play as Linda McMahon to win the WWE Championship. Apparently, there was no cutscene that was made for it. I thought that was a funny little thing to find out. I mean, it makes sense, but if you're gonna put a character in a game, I feel like somebody out there, whether it's some challenge or some video they're gonna want to take a character that normally couldn't get it, win it, for you to leave that out. And listen, that could have just been something you guys forgot at the time, whichever game that was. And hey, whatever. Things happen.
The
It's an
voice
oversight.
acting at that time was it was pretty darn good. Like, because you actually had to have emotion when you voice acted.
I mean, the voice acting was okay. Like
if you look at the I Quit match now in 2K versus an I Quit match on the earlier versions, it's way different.
Oh no, there's definitely a difference.
I quit. There's just there's no emotion. It's like it's all the same. I quit. I quit. I quit. It's like, at least, yeah, in the older games, you got the graphic of I quit of your character saying it, but like in the story mode, like their voice was just like I quit. Like it was emotion.
N64 Days did some pretty good work with that. Like, it may not look the best, but N64 Days probably did some good work with that. WrestleMania 2000, No Mercy. Like, for whatever reason, I was always a WCW NWO Revenge. Like, I love that. I probably played that title more than I played any of the other WWE N64 games. Like, I played them, but WCW NWO was the one that I probably put the most work and effort into. But we're gonna have to revisit those. We're probably just gonna have to go. Listen, we're gonna get flagged if we try to go through and listen to those tracks on one of these. So that may be something we have to put on paper. I don't know. We have to figure out how that works. But PS2 days, definitely golden era music WWE games. Solid. With that, I think we can go ahead and wrap things up. It's been some fun things that we talked about on the episode of The Finisher this week, guys. So make sure, like I was saying from beforehand, let us know what you thought about what we talked about earlier in the show. And then let us know, do you have a favorite game, a favorite WWE game with music in it? Or is it kind of the same way you just have like a time frame? Let us know those things in the comments as well. But I think we're going to go ahead and we're going to shut things down for episode 45 of The Finisher Podcast. Marcus, anything else you want to throw out before we get out of here?
No, sir.
Well, this has been Jokes for the homie Marcus. Do me a favor. Let the folks know what they need to hear.
Sir, just because your back is against the ropes doesn't mean you can't move forward. And with that, we'll see you on the next time.
Loading snacks.